Your unconscious mind drives 95% of your life, and you didn't build it. Gabor Mate. Why are our decisions so predictable? Why are your decisions so predictable? Why do so many people fall into the same patterns, like they re-following an invisible script? Here's the brutal truth: you're not choosing. You're repeating what you saw. You call it free will, but it's emotional programming. Every time you say, "This is my choice," ask yourself, who is choosing inside you? Is it the conscious adult, or the wounded child trained to survive by pleasing? From the beginning, your mind was hijacked. Fear disguised as faith, silence sold as respect, guilt painted as love. You weren't educated, you were shaped, conditioned to become a mirror of the system, and they called it identity. You were taught to smile to be liked, to stay quiet to avoid rejection, to repeat in order to be loved. Now, you act without realizing that each move is a copy of an unquestioned pattern. The mind learns by repetition, but it also suffers by repetition. That's why you fall for the same kind of people, walk into the same traps, live the same heartbreaks, and call it bad luck. But it's not luck. It's programming. You call it just who I am, but it's only the trauma of someone else still echoing inside you. You think you're living, but maybe you're just obeying old memories. So ask yourself, if everything you do is just a repetition, would you dare to deprogram? You were programmed before you could even speak. You didn't choose your name, your religion, or your values. They were given to you, and then they became you. Childhood wasn't just affection or neglect. It was the unconscious download of emotional blueprints. If you grew up around guilt, you learned to see sacrifice as love. If you lived with yelling, you began to confuse intensity with importance. If love came only when you pleased others, you now call fear of rejection kindness. School taught you to memorize, but not to think. Church taught you to obey, but not to question. Family taught you not to embarrass, but not to be proud of your truth. The message was clear. Thinkers are disruptive. Feelers are inconvenient. Rule breakers are punished. So you learn to repeat, because repetition is safe. Repetition is approval. Repetition means you won't be cast out. You were conditioned to think through fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of disappointment, fear of losing love. And that fear still hides in your life today. In jobs that drain you, in relationships that hurt, in beliefs designed to keep you loyal to emotional poverty. The worst prison has no bars. It has affection. Because if you believe you must be loved to exist, anyone who offers that love can control you. That's why people keep following paths they hate. That's why they repeat what breaks them. It's not choice, it's the unconscious need to belong. And unless you see through this system, you'll keep calling emotional survival life. You're not one person, you're a crowd. There's the version you show, and the one you suppress. There's what you say, and everything you wanted to scream but swallowed, afraid of rejection. Carl Jung called it the shadow. All you hide from yourself, still pulling your strings. All you repressed to be accepted. All you denied to feel loved. You were trained to wear masks. The perfect student. The obedient child. The tireless professional. The spiritually enlightened one. But inside lives the tired, the angry, the confused, the human. And the more you deny those parts, the louder they return. In addictions, self-sabotage, emotional breakdowns, burnout, there is no freedom without shadow, because what you reject owns you. The self you present is just surface, just social packaging. Your true self is buried under other people's expectations. When you look in the mirror, do you see your essence, or just a reflection of who they wanted you to become? You chase approval, but have you ever asked, who taught you that love demands a mask? Maybe you've repeated the role for so long, you forgot you can rewrite it. But to do that, you'll need to descend into the dark, the uncomfortable, the quiet. The shadow is not your enemy. It's the path home. You weren't born to repeat. You were born to disrupt. But the system doesn't want your wholeness. It wants your compliance. It wants your fear. It wants your hunger. The more predictable you are, the easier it is to sell to you, steer you, control you. What they call normal life is just preloaded repetition. Same routines, same desires, same empty success disguised as achievement. But something deeper stirs inside you. A quiet ache, a sense that this isn't your life. That discomfort is a message. Not to be better than them, but to be real with yourself. True purpose doesn't shout. It whispers when the noise fades. It's not career. It's not applause. It's not validation. It's presence. It's what you would still do in complete solitude. It's what remains after every mask falls off. But truth demands bravery. To live authentically is to lose the comfort of belonging. It's saying no where you once nodded. It's leaving safety. It's realizing that freedom also hurts. You don't need a new life plan. You need to remember who you were before you became a copy of what you saw. No one teaches you how to resist without applause. No one celebrates the soul that says no to the system. But that's where real strength is forged. In solitude, in silence, in sticking to your truth without witnesses. You think you're weak because you're scared. But fear makes you real. What breaks you is running from it. Courage is not the absence of pain. It's walking with it, wearing your scars like armor, owning your decisions even when the crowd demands your obedience. True resilience isn't loud, it's private. It's the discipline of invisible battles. It's choosing not to repeat what broke you. It's saying, this ends with me. I'm not the echo, I'm the shift. Self-mastery is not self-denial. It's choosing what you feed. It's resisting every urge to perform. It's turning inner chaos into focused direction. You'll fall. You'll slip. But every time you rise, without pretending, you're building a self no system can touch. If you can face your pain without sedatives, the world will lose its grip on your mind. You weren't born to follow someone else's script. You were born to question it. As long as you keep repeating what you saw, you'll keep feeling what they wanted you to feel. Guilt, fear, lack. But there comes a moment when the echo becomes unbearable, when silence speaks louder than programming. That's the rupture. That's when you realize free will isn't choosing from the options they gave you. It's saying, I no longer want to play this game. Most will call you rebellious. Some will call you ungrateful. Others, insane. But in truth, you are awakening. And awakening hurts. Because it requires you to die to everything you are not. But on the other side of that pain, there's something no system can engineer. Radical authenticity. Your full presence. Your unrepeatable voice. Your eyes that refuse to look away. This video ends, but your process has just begun. If something inside you stirred, type in the comments, I choose to break the cycle. And remember, you were not made to repeat. You were made to disrupt.